Welcome back to another edition of the Edge Podcast, post-game breakdown edition. Brenden Slaughter, publisher of BeaversEdge.com here, joined by Beavers Edge senior writer Ryan Harlan. We're coming to you guys in the aftermath of Oregon State's 27-23 loss to Appalachian State on the road in Boone, North Carolina. It turned out to be quite the game as far as the ups, the downs, the momentum swings and what have you. Ultimately, Oregon State was able to get no more than a safety in the fourth quarter. They just could not get over that final hump. App State holds strong, and we'll kind of dive into all that. But bottom line, Oregon State falls to App State 27-23. They're 0-6. Ryan, you like to enjoy hearing some crazy off the wall stats. It is now Oregon State's worst start to a season since 1991. They started that year 0-10.
Jesus.
I mean,
Like that's the only reaction I have to saying to that. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that this is insane.
I
Like
mean, I
legitimately, like the
yeah,
fact of the matter is that we're now sitting here at 0-6 when in a hypothetical scenario in some weird alternate universe or timeline, this team is 1-4, 2-4, 2-3, back to 500 or anything right here.
right?
The fact that we're sitting here at 0-6 as they're staring at potentially even losing more games going forward. I mean, I'm just simply speechless
Yeah,
that
I
we're
mean,
knocking on the door of that 91 start.
you're in such bad company. You're talking about Jerry Pettibone's first year, the year they were switching offenses and just quite bad. But just to go like before this, Ryan, it was worst start since '96, another Pettibone year, and it hit home for me because I came into this planet on '96. I'm like, okay, this is literally tied for the worst start in my lifetime, but still in my lifetime. Ryan, now I'm sitting here asking, some elders in the old Slaughter family, as they were, watching the game with me this weekend, and I'm just like, okay, so now 91, new low. Like, Ryan, 1991 was like not yesterday. Like that's 30 plus years ago. I mean, you're talking setting new record. I mean, this is as far as a start goes in a single season. Gary Anderson was never off to one this bad, and you look at this game. I think there were some good things from Oregon State you saw. We'll kind of dive into a little bit of that. But Ryan, the biggest thing in this game, you spotted App State a 17-0 lead. You basically, any of your fan base that do tune in to watch right away, they were probably like, Abe Simpson in the Simpsons gif with the hat notices just right back out. The Beavers do fight their way back into this game, but ultimately it's just not enough. Malik Murphy throws a couple interceptions late. I do have to make note before we get any deeper into this, Ryan. Career high 13 catches for a buck 79 for Trent Walker. Trent Walker, Sauce Walker, earned his name today. I'm not sure how many players individually need to be shouted out today, Ryan, but Sauce Walker absolutely does. Regardless of
Yeah.
that final interception where he just got leveled. No disrespect to Malik Murphy, he gave Trent Walker a hospital ball there, in my opinion. Like that's tough. And obviously Trent got up and was okay, but you talk about Murphy's decisions on those throwaways, Ryan, where he would just kind of throw it up, on the third and longs when he'd get some pressure. Oregon State's third down defense was atrocious in this game. I mean, there were some moments, but Ryan, what were kind of some of your big thoughts on this game? Because, I mean, once again, just proving like Oregon State, their record is one of the worst teams in the country, yet sometimes they execute, you're like, wow, this team is actually there. Then other times it's just like, how can you be so incompetent as far as play calls? And I want to zero in, Ryan, the play calling Ryan Gunderson in that fourth quarter. I I hate to boil the game down to one thing. There were turnovers, this, that. I go back to David Wells fumbling a kickoff early in the game, lots of things. But I think this game, with the opportunities you had in the fourth quarter, inexcusable to have never taken the lead in this one.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact of the matter is, right, when you were kind of coming out of that start of the fourth quarter, it's like the fact that you punted to kind of start out, that quarter and you didn't even try to be aggressive and at least convert
Right.
for that third, fourth down. Like, why not? Like, your season is on the line. And the fact that you weren't even being aggressive or you weren't even trying to be like, hey, look, like this is the time we're going to figure this out. We're going to put everything together right here, right now to at least get some semblance of hope, right? Like that's what this team needs. And the fact that you didn't do even that, not even like with that goal line stand that Appalachian State had, but just the fact that you couldn't even be aggressive to start things out and at least regain some momentum that, you had kind of lost with App State coming back there, also inexcusable too. In addition to that play calling, in addition to the way that that goal line situation was handled as well too. But you summarized it best, and the best way that I can summarize the Oregon State football experience is teams shoot themselves in the foot, then we
Ugh.
come back and shoot ourselves in the head. That's
Yeah,
exactly what the Oregon State football experience has been this
right.
entire 0-6 start to this entire year, where not only was the offensive play calling bad, Malik Murphy's performance bad as well too, despite what the stat line says in the
Sure.
final box score. Like that doesn't tell the full picture of everything. The throwaways as well too, horrid. And special teams
Yep.
still killing you, and part of
I
the
mean, missed field
reason
goal.
why,
Yeah.
yeah, and part of the reason why you also lost this game too, not only with the missed field goal but also the David Wells fumble as well. As soon as I saw that, I was like, of course,
Yep.
like that is exactly peak Oregon State football right there for the worst special teams unit in the entire country.
Right. I mean, it's one thing I want to circle in on real quick, Ryan. Again, thanks again for everyone joining the Beavers Edge post-game breakdown. Obviously, check out to beaversedge.com. Ryan and I will have some takeaways from today's game. But Ryan mentioned fourth quarter, right? You're obviously trailing 27-21. The safety would come later. But Oregon State punts to start the fourth quarter, as Ryan mentions. Their defense gets App State off the field 3-and-out. Okay. Then Oregon State gets the ball back, and ultimately that's when Malik Murphy throws the interception in the end zone to Colton Forrest. That was kind of, as Ryan discussed, the kind of up their ball. Gabe Milborn had a chance at it, as did Hankerson, but it ended up at App State. Regardless, you're like, okay, that's brutal, but Oregon State still has a chance. Ryan, they give the ball back. App State goes 3-and-out again. Then Oregon State gets the ball back, gets all the way down to the Appalachian State 1. Then this is just something we have to talk about. Why the Wildcat there? On three different plays from the 1 yard line that, Malik Murphy goes out wide and then Hankerson still taking it at, the 3-4 yard line trying to get up. I get trying to run it once, but I think it is offensive malpractice to have not tried a tush push there, Ryan. We've seen them do that with Malik Murphy earlier this season. I was appalled they ran that Wildcat sequence 3 times in a row.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a 6'6", 240-pound QB back there, that's what you should be doing.
Right.
Emphasis on the word should, but they didn't. It is the most head scratching decision that I've seen Gunderson make in terms of play calling, and there have been a lot of head scratching decisions in this sort of 2 years that we have now seen his coaching staff together.
Right.
And also positionally where you were. Like Malik is tall enough and big enough to get you into the
A
end
yard.
zone.
A
If you
yard.
do that two
I
push,
just
yeah.
I I don't know. I sat
God,
there and
like
was
I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like that's the thing. Like why? Like okay, is it the hand? Is it, like that what was preventing him from going under center and taking a snap? Probably not, because we did see him go under center. So why not? That's the biggest question I have after, that sequence there. Why not? Why did you not do it?
right. And then even after that sequence, you think, okay, maybe the game is now finally cooked. Oregon State's defense, Ryan, comes up again, gets a safety, and I'd like to make note, Oregon State's defense held App State to -2 yards in the fourth quarter, and you still lost this game. Beavers get the ball back again with a buck 33 on the clock at their own 43, a chance to win it again, and they end up, getting saved by a pass interference penalty on ultimately 4th and 1. Some more questionable play calling when it was 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. But ultimately, Ryan, the sack that Malik Murphy took 1st and 10 at the App State 25, that that took up time, the final timeout, and ultimately, I'm sorry. If you're a big time quarterback making, what we know Malik Murphy's making, you got to be better and throw the ball away there. You can't take a sack in that point in the game. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back in this one. And you saw, obviously before the interception, they tried to get the ball to Trent. Trent was Superman in this game, but you needed to have more than just Trent. And you kind of look at it. I know, obviously David Wells had the touchdown run, but outside of that, next closest receiver was Eddie Freoff, 4 catches for 56. It just wasn't enough in this one, Ryan. Like you said, Malik's stats, they were, they looked decent, but then you look at the interceptions and there was just a lot of yards in between the 20s.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And also too, like I mean, the fact that now we get to see like Eddie Freoff have a significant role at this point in the year when that should have happened a lot sooner than what it did for this
Right.
game. Also malpractice at the same time. Like Eddie needed to be more involved after that Fresno State game, and the fact that he was not more involved up until now is also just head scratching. And yeah, with Malik, making as much as he makes, like at some point the buck not only stops with him, but also Ryan Gunderson too, with poor execution of the passing game and play calling that's going on there because I don't know what it is that's causing this disconnect between these two because
Right. I
from
mean,
everything that we can look at from the past at least two games, this 2 game sample size from Houston to now, not like discounting Texas Tech, discounting Oregon. Clearly, the defense has found form and has found you ways to keep you in the game. It's special teams and offense that have put you from winning those games, at least in
right.
these past 2 games with Houston and Appalachian State right now. So, yeah,
And
like
yeah.
there needs to be some serious soul searching for those two sides.
And I want to mention too, Ryan, obviously there were a fair amount of penalties. I think the final stats will say Appalachian State was 4 of 12 on third downs. I think that number's a little skewed with some of the fourth quarter stops the Beavers made on third and long. But you go back to earlier in the game, Ryan, when Oregon State could not get off the field, third and 10, third and 11. I believe it was App State's final touchdown scoring drive. You just can't have it. And I think Oregon State's defense did show some decent things. But at the same token, earlier in the game, the tone was set with, going deep on Oregon State like we've seen. And I think now, like Ryan said, real soul searching questions have to be asked. And just to kind of put a bow tie on this breakdown, Ryan, you welcome back into Wake Forest. How can you not make any changes now if you're Trent Bray or even Scott Barnes, to an extent, like you were 0-6. This is a new low for this program in recent times. Anyway, not all time, but recent times.
Yeah, no, I mean, if there are no changes made by Monday, like I would not be mad or upset with Oregon State fans not showing up against Wake Forest, or if they do show up, showing up in bags over their heads. Like I would not be
Harsh, but
mad at all
true.
because at some point you need to make the call. Like I do not for Trent Bray's sake, from what he said to us coming into this week, and I'm going to say it plain and simple. I do not care if it's in the best interest of the players to make that move or not. Clearly, by keeping some of these coaches around, you are not working in the best interest of the players themselves. That
Right,
is clearly what is happening right now. And that is just straight up the truth. At least, I will give Trent the only credit of like, yeah, your defense is doing, better than what it was, but still not good enough,
right.
at the same time either. But, like from what we saw in this game. So I do agree with you as well on that. I wanted to add that in there. But
Good.
like, yep. I mean, you're keeping Jamie Christian around and among others on this staff when clearly things are not working is not in the best interest of the players themselves. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised, Brendan, if players are looking for their next destination.
yeah. I mean, the,
Like
the
nobody
keeping
signed up for
this
this.
Yeah, keeping this team together, I think, is almost nigh impossible now. The cracks, I mean, we'll see. We'll see, obviously, what this team's response is as they, lick their wounds on their 3,000-mile journey back. But Ryan, this is now the third time this season Oregon State has outgained an opponent and lost. Oregon State had 456 yards of total offense to App State's 354. But again, the execution, the details, the getting off the field when you need to, the coming up clutch with big plays when you need to. Oregon State just couldn't do it in this. So in this one, and ultimately finds himself 0-6 again, the worst start since 1991. So go ahead and stay locked into BeaversEdge.com as Ryan and I will have takeaways from today's game. Obviously, make sure to check out Ryan's story on Blueprint and some of the developing things there as well on Beaver's Edge. As despite the football team being 0-6, we're still keeping things very busy over at BeaversEdge.com and some great stuff there. Obviously, as we get into this next week, we'll be getting you guys ready for Wake Forest as the Beavers return home to Reser Stadium for the first of four straight at Reser Stadium as well. So again, for Ryan Harlan, this is Brenden Slaughter signing off on this post-game breakdown where Oregon State falls to App State 27-23 to fall to 0-6 on the year.